Follow you to go. This year, good news, giant plenty money. Follow, you can go. Hey, blessings, money, testimony, everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life. Good morning. Happy hump day, y'all. How's it going? If you are glad that you heard your alarm clock this morning, I just want you to raise your hand. If you are glad that you heard your alarm clock this morning, just raise your hand right quick, because it wasn't the alarm clock that got you up. I'm just saying. All right. That's my perspective. So I'm going to raise my hand because I'm glad I heard my alarm clock this morning to get up. You feel me? All stuff working. Everything is working. Nothing lacking today, y'all. Cool. So this is the Money Team reporting live from Atlanta, Georgia. All right. If you're not in Atlanta, Georgia, let me hear where you're from in the chat. This is the Money Team, aka the Financial Services Committee, and we are helping you build your financial houses on rock and not sand in 2025, right? And so in a few, we're going to have Kim Mathis of To Be a Good Steward help you ensure that you got the proper mindset, the right tools, and biblical strategies to do just that. First and foremost, I'm super blessed to be here as the chair of the Money Team. My name is Chike Uzoka, aka the Got Wealth Guy. For those who are just meeting me for the first time, I'm a speaker, licensed financial advisor, author, and chief innovation officer at Get Clear with Wealth, where we help families build and keep wealth. My pastor's favorite word, shout out to Bishop and First Lady Beecham. My pastor's favorite word is and. Build and keep wealth. We're great at building it. I think we could use some work on the keeping and passing it on department. All right. And so we are fresh off the heels of our 6th annual Family Financial Empowerment Summit, which we held at Turner Chapel in Marietta. If you missed that, you missed a really good time, a lot of workshops, awesome panel discussion. I got to shout out all our committee members because I don't want to get yelled at. All the committee members, of course, Kim and Paul Mitchell helped out, Anitra Walker, Daryl Perry, Lynette Furr, Tommy Stapleton, Dr. Deshonda Lucas, Haziq Ali, and Michaela Ben. We had an awesome time, a really awesome time. We ended it off with a panel discussion talking about what it takes to make your family truly wealthy. And so we got some great feedback, and we are looking, of course, to bigger and better next year. So make sure you're there. All right. Cool. So what else did I have on the agenda before we get started? Right. That's really it, y'all. We are here to help you build your financial house on rock and not sand in 2025. And if you know what that means, it means that the storm's gonna come, stuff gonna happen. You can't escape stuff, even with insurance. You can't escape nothing, right? Stuff's going to happen. And if your financial house is built on rock, you can answer those things that happen when they happen. If it's built on sand, those things that happen shake you, mess you up a little bit. So, Kim, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, y'all. Y'all about to get blessed. All right, Kim, take it away.
All right. Well, great morning, ABC family, ABC friends. My name is Kim Mathis. I am a certified financial coach, but I identify as the financial stewardship coach. I am a native here from Atlanta, Georgia. Do we have any Atlanta natives in the house? Drop it in a chat. I know that we are far and few, but we still exist. We still rock out. All right. So, to be a good steward, it was actually founded in 2022. So, my mission is to help my clients to regain stability in their personal finances, which includes setting up financial blueprints to become debt free. And this gives my clients the ability to be able to not only invest more, save more, but also be a blessing and give more. So my program is based on biblical principles, and my vision is to build a community of financially wise and faithful stewards to not only thrive, but make an impact that will last. So today we'll be talking about planning your finances for 2025. Can you guys believe that it's already here? Like, I mean, it just seems like we were just at the New Year's of 2024, and now I've already put up my Christmas tree. Like, listen, I just had to have a reality check. Listen, it's here regardless of the fact, but we are quickly approaching 2025. And so I want to offer you some helpful tips and insights on how to plan for your finances for 2025. So I want to give you some statistics first before we go into the presentation. And the reason why I want to give you these statistics, because I once was a part of the percentages, but I came to the decision that, you know what? God is the source of my resources. Why am I handling my resources irresponsibly? And I just said I was determined to make a change in my life and not to be a part of the statistics that I'm about to list. So it says that 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Yes. Which it proves the studies that's done by CNC that more than a half of the American household earning at least 100K or better are living paycheck to paycheck. So just imagine those that are earning less than 100K, how their daily lives are as far as in their finances. In quarter two of 2024, the household debt, the overall American household debt, collectively together reached $17.8 trillion. Y'all, we are half of the government's debt. Can you believe that? Half of the government's debt. And this includes like the household debt as far as mortgages and credit cards, student loans. This is debt overall together. It says that 63% of Americans can cover a $400 unexpected emergency with cash. Now, this is down from the previous study, which is 68%, but only 63% of Americans can afford a $400 cash emergency. That means not going to get a personal loan for it or using credit cards. But you know what? Today, I'm coming with information that we're going to be able to not only afford that, but exceed that. 74% of Americans operate from a monthly budget. And 84% of that 74% say that they still overspend even when they are trying to operate on a budget. But we'll talk about that more into details. And when you overspend on your budget, then what does that lead you to? Using credit cards. This year, we're going to determine that we are becoming financially free and we're going to leave some of that debt behind. So this is where to be a good steward comes in. And this is where I provide not only financial education, but accountability and helping you with creating individual financial blueprints to reach your financial goals. So many of us, we do desire to be wealthy. We do desire to be financially free, what we consider to be financially free. But there are many people that are still stuck in financial bondage from past financial decisions, lifestyle creep. And we know that lifestyle creep, it actually opens up to us living beyond our means, and then some type of financial traumatic situation that occurred. Maybe you yourself or a loved one maybe got sick and you were unable to work, or possibly there was a loss of a family member. So we definitely want to just kind of get a hold on our finances and do better. Because why? Again, God is the source of all of our resources, and we want to be good managers over those resources. And this is why I find it very important that my company stands on biblical financial stewardship, because there is no financial situation that is too hard for God to turn around. As long as we are faithful to becoming better stewards over our finances, God will do the rest. So let's start off with the foundation of our financial blueprint, and that is budgeting. I know that some of the things I may say, you guys, it sounds simple, but there's a lot of people that's just not applying it to their everyday lives as far as their households. And so, what we are going to do is that for those who are already budgeting, we're going to talk about closing out that budget and preparing for 2025. And for those who are just pretty much, you're like flying by the seat of your pants, listen, before you leave this webinar, I want you to commit that you are not going into 2025 without operating on a household budget. So, reviewing your 2024 budget and expenses, this is where you will analyze your 2024 spending habits and identify where your adjustments can be made. So, were there any major changes when you're reviewing your 2024 budget? Were there any major changes in your household expenses that you're able to possibly adjust for 2025? And see, the reason why I want you to review that, this allows you to identify any areas where your expenses have increased, and just think about ways that you can start scaling those expenses before they get out of control. So you're looking at areas like, okay, where can I actually save money? Which category in my budget that I'm able to save? So I want you guys to drop in the chat for me. What is a area in your budget that is just pretty much right now out of control, and you're going to be determined that you will analyze this expense and see how can you scale back on this expense. I know for a lot of us it may be our grocery budget. Some of us, our kids, their expenses, like one day they're playing basketball, the next day they want to go to astronaut camp. So what's one of the categories that you are having issues with? And Chike, if you can just let me know, because I'm not really able to gauge the chat, but can you just let me know what the people are saying?
I got you. I got someone that said the GF. Is that the gluten free? What is that, Charles? If Charles could let me know what that is. Food, miscellaneous subscriptions. Miscellaneous subscriptions. Oh,
Woo-hoo.
girlfriend. That was gonna be my second guess, Charles. Girlfriend. Well, that I mean, for yeah, anyway. Uh, let's see. We got entertainment, dining out, traveling, food again, living expenses. Those subscriptions again. Okay, college student. I pray for you. Another one, high school senior. They eat a lot, I heard. Entertainment, dining out. So yeah, a few of the same things. Adult,
Absolutely.
adult, adult, adult children being back home. That's a different one.
I heard that. I heard a just a snippet of a clip where I think it's like baby boomers are taking care of not only parents, but they're also taking care of their adult children. As Chike said, we pray for y'all. All right. So, yes, you guys are hitting the nail on the head. These are the many categories that my clients have issues with as far as their budget is concerned, and they're wanting to get a hold of just that expense because it's out of control. So, let's talk about some of those things. There are still people that actually have cable, right? Cable is starting to cost. Xfinity, I don't know what's happening. We get in the same channels, but they are increasing their rates. But for people like myself, you may not watch a lot of TV. So think about using streaming apps. I know Philo is an excellent TV app. It gets you, I think, over 70 channels to include some of those channels y'all we like to watch: BET, VH1. It even have HGTV. That is a really, really great app to transition into as you cut the cord. Think about YouTube TV. That's it's less expensive than actual cable, and also Fubo TV. I think that's how you pronounce it, Fubo. But that's an app that you can consider transitioning into when you cut the cord. Start calling Xfinity, your internet company. Ask them, hey, well, what type of discounts do you have? You know, we don't have to just sit there and take them increasing it. Call and talk about any packages that they have that you're not aware about that can save you money on the back end. I know you guys said your grocery budget. Listen, for some reason, eggs have gone from $5 to $2 back to $3. I'm not sure what's happening with the dairy industry. Like, do the chickens have expenses themselves? What are we really doing? But for your grocery budget, yes, your food expenses have increased, but let me tell you something. Meal planning goes a long way. I promise you it does, because this is something that I practice myself. And I know a lot of people like, well, I don't want to eat the same thing every day. I get it. But if you're looking to control that expense, what I would encourage you to do is like plan a meal on Sunday and let it take you to maybe Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, cook another meal to take you on throughout the week. And this way it keeps you from pulling up at drive-throughs, those impulse restaurant visits. What you guys say, eating out is starting to cost a whole lot of money. And guess what, y'all? I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. It's a lot more healthier, because you really don't know what you're eating in these streets, right? So consider meal planning. This will take some adjustments, but you have to do what you have to do when you are determined to become financially free. Getting rid of those unused subscriptions. Amen and amen. Those streaming subscriptions that you have, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, those things that you're not watching. Go ahead, comb through your 2024 budget, get those out, because we don't need them taking money out of your pocket. Music streaming apps. For those of you that's not really using Apple Music, you're not using the paid subscriptions for Spotify or Pandora, go ahead and release yourself from those subscriptions so that you can save that money. I'm not going to step on anybody's toes, but for everybody that, the new year comes in and you got that gym membership, new year, new me. You just hadn't really made it to the gym. You drive by it, you wave at it. Listen, YouTube have some awesome fitness trainers on there, and you can watch it for free, work out in the comforts of your own home. But go ahead and cancel that gym membership. So I want you to comb through your budget and look at areas where you can save money. Now, compare and prepare your 2025 budget. So I want you to compare your fixed and your variable expenses from 2024 and prepare for 2025. Listen, this is the one thing I want you to do. I know it's going to be hard. I want you to understand your spending habits. And how do you do this? This is an example. Take your last 2 to 3 bank statements, and I want you to highlight all the non-necessities, which includes your impulse purchases, that's going out to eat frequently, your excessive entertainment. But be honest with yourself. Listen, this is your financial freedom journey. You have to be honest with yourself. You're working on truly becoming debt free. So taking a good look at those bank statements can be a reality check. I know it is, but this should motivate you to take the next step to scale back on those expenses. Now, preparing your budget ahead of time, listen, don't let nobody tell you that it's too early. It's okay for you to go ahead and prepare January through all the way to December, because you're basically comparing what you budgeted for 2024. So those fixed expenses like your mortgage, maybe your rent, your HOA fees, your tithes and offerings, things like that, you can go ahead and put that into your 2025 budget. And for your variable expenses, such as, let's say, your grocery bill, your utilities, things like that. You kind of get just an average of what your utility is going to be. So, say for instance, my example is that I budget $140 every month for my utilities. Sometimes it's less than that, but then sometimes it can be more. But at least if I take the average, I have something to work with. So if it goes over, I'm not too far off and too far off of my budget. So preparing that budget ahead of time, it really, really can be a great help to you controlling your finances. I want you to look in using a budget tool to stay on track. Some people like to use Excel sheets. Some people like to use digital apps, budget journals, and I'll talk about my budget journal that I have available on my site, but just using a tool to stay on track. Review your bank statements at minimum once a month. And the reason why I say that again is a reality check, because you get to see what you're spending your money on. And also, it identifies if there's any scams going on in your bank account. I remember that with Wells Fargo, maybe it was a few years ago, that they were having people to take out $1 per month out of people's bank account. And if you do that over 1 million people, that's $1 million right there. So be aware of what's happening in your bank account, on your statements. And then you're able to go back and review and say, okay, I hadn't watched Netflix in quite some time. Let me go ahead and cancel that. I'm going to get rid of it. So this is how you prepare your budget for 2025. Again, analyzing your 2024 budget, finding out areas where you can scale, and then prepare that 2025 budget. Debt management and reduction. These interest rates out here, y'all, they are getting outrageous. I mean, the average interest rate on credit cards today is 20 to 24%. Car loan payments are like at $600 for a used car. So that means that credit is becoming quite expensive, right? Absolutely. So personal debt payoff. It's time to ditch some of that debt. I know that my some financial experts that I like to watch, their motto is assets over liability. We don't need more liabilities than we have assets. We're looking for our net worth to increase. So I want you guys to drop a 1 in the chat if you're considering paying off some of that personal debt this year. Drop a 1 in the chat. You're getting rid of some of that credit card debt. Drop a 1 in the chat. Chike, you got to let me know. Are people motivated to pay off some of that debt this year?
I think I was the first or second one that put a 1 in there. Shoot.
Anybody thinking about getting rid of some of those credit cards? I know. They get y'all with the points. The points are cute and you want to go get those sky miles, but trust and believe, banks are not in the business to not make money. They're going to get some money. They're going to get money one way or the other. Okay. And so we are looking at ways that we're going to keep some of that money in our pockets. So for those of you who are looking to pay off that debt, listen, here's the first step. List out all of your debts. Make a list of the outstanding balances, the interest rates, and then the minimum payments. And then I want you to create a plan of how you're going to start knocking out some of that debt. So whatever method works for you, that motivates you, whether you're going to pay the smallest balance first, and that's what is coined by Dave Ramsey as the snowball method, or are you going to attack the highest interest debt first, paying off credit cards, HELOCs, personal loans, student loans, auto loans? Listen, let's make a plan to get rid of that debt. Now, if you are using credit cards, do your best. Do your best to pay that balance off by the due date. Understand that the interest that you are paying, that's your money. And that money, you can use that money to either save, invest more, or be able to bless others. But we're learning how to keep that money in our pocket. So some people may say, well, you know what? Banks are not really getting much money out of me because I pay it off by the end of the month. But I want to read to you this statement that I received from Navy Federal. This was around July. Banks are getting real smart these days. Now, mind you, I haven't used a credit card since January 2023. So literally, my credit cards are in the freezer. Okay, I had to get control of that, and I have not used them. But here's a message from Navy Federal. They say, here's a change in how we calculate your interest charges. We use the daily balances method, including new transactions. We calculate the interest charges separately for each balance on your account, subject to different terms. For example, regular purchase, regular balance transfers and convenience checks, regular cash advances, and each promotional balance. We calculate daily interest on those balances by multiplying them by their DPRs. We do this each day of the billing cycle. We sum up the daily interest amounts to find the total monthly interest charge. Due to rounding, this calculation may vary slightly from the interest charge to your account. These banks are getting smart. They're starting to charge this interest daily instead of waiting close to that statement date. And Navy Federal said, well, hey, if you don't agree to these terms, then you can no longer make new purchases with our credit cards. So that just pretty much show you what the bank feels about us. As long as that they're getting some type of money off of us, they're going to keep allowing us to use their credit. So your savings and your investment check-in and savings goals. Let me get back to my notes. So with this, understanding that it is very, very important to do your financial check-in, okay? Take the time to check in on your overall financial portfolio. This includes your investments. Review your portfolio, adjust as needed to stay on track with your long-term goals. So what you're looking for is basically, how did your portfolio perform so far this year? Now that we're in November, did you increase? Did your portfolio increase? Did your investments increase? Or have you lost money on the back end? It is time for you to reach out and have that discussion with your financial advisor, your financial specialist. And I know that we have some awesome financial advisors within the Atlanta Black Chambers committee. So this is your responsibility to reach out and go over your investment accounts. Your investments, this is your business. This is your financial portfolio. So take the time to review your quarterly statements. Check for gains and losses again. Now, if you don't understand something, that's when it's time for you to reach out to your financial advisor. For those of us who have retirement plans, be sure that you're checking in to make sure you stay on track with your contributions. You don't want to find out when it's time for you to retire that you did not add enough in your monthly contributions to retire comfortably. So we want to make sure that you are checking in with that. Setting savings goals. I cannot preach enough how important it is to have an emergency fund. You have to have something to make sure if Murphy Law happens, and what Murphy Law is, it states that if it can happen, it will happen. We have all had that emergency that cost us money, and just being realistically, and forgive my typo right there, y'all, excuse me. But realistically, we've had to pull out credit cards to pay for those emergencies. Realistically, we've had to go and take out personal loans for those emergencies. And remember that the statistics said that only 63% of Americans can cover a $400 emergency. We don't want this to be us. We do not want to depend on credit cards to get us out of a financial situation. Credit cards should not be your floaties. What I mean by floaties, you know, the floaties you put on your arm and you thrown out in the water, that should not be your security. We should be developing an emergency fund to take care of whatever may happen according to Murphy's Law. And how much do you keep in your emergency fund? I say whatever makes you sleep comfortably at night. Okay. So in the chat, I want you to drop, when you consider one word to describe the sense that an emergency fund gives you, how it can cover you. What is that one word when you think about an emergency fund? What sense does it give you? Is it peace? Stress-free? What is that word? TK, can you help me out? What is that word you have to describe that emergency fund? What it can
Security. Security, freedom, relief, peace, confidence. Somebody put Z's, grace, blessing, clarity, peace of mind, confidence. That's confidence twice, actually. Opportunity to invest. Paul not sticking to the rules, man. He said opportunity. One word, Paul. Joy, winning, safety net. Courtney is a rebel as well. Abundance, peace again. I said a pillow. I like pillows. Good pillow. Like it's a pillow. When I fall, the pillow there to, soften the landing. So what other words we got? Accomplished. Yeah. So we got a few pieces, a few confidences, and a few rule breakers.
I love it. I love it. So keep that in mind as you're building your saving goal, your emergency fund. Keep that in mind. That is what you're looking for your emergency fund to do. Listen, some of y'all have little children. You've told your child to stop jumping off that bed, and they jumping off that bed more than the law allow, and they done broke their little arm. You have to go to the emergency room, but there's still either a deductible or a copay that you're going to have to render for the services. So these are the things that an emergency fund can help you with. We know that our card, something happens at the unexpected time. This is what your emergency fund is there to cover you with. I don't know about you all in Atlanta. It gets over 100 degrees, it feel like, and you do not want that AC in your house to go out at the wrong time, because that's when everything just feels like everything just goes wrong. But guess what? When you have that emergency fund, you're able to go and have that AC repaired, and you don't have to depend on a credit card. That's what you call winning. So I want you to set up some saving goals for your short-term, mid-term, and long-term savings. This is outside of your emergency fund. So for short-term, this is money that you're spending within the next 12 months. So what does that look like? You guys that want to go out, celebrate your birthday, you can start building on that savings now. You know that you want to look good. You know you want to have like a party. You want to have some type of celebration. Start saving that money now, where you can tell Discover, American Express, Visa, and MasterCard, y'all put on hold. I'm saving the money to do this. You can save money for those midterm savings. That's money that you're using within the next 13 to 60 months. That's maybe purchasing a home. So you want to save your down payment. You're planning to get married. Ain't nothing like coming home from your honeymoon with tons of debt. You want to be free. You want to walk into your brand new life with the minimum amount of debt. So you can start saving for that wedding now. What about, let's just say, you have a child that's getting ready to graduate. You want to throw a graduation party. Start saving for that. We know we want to celebrate our babies. So start saving that money now. For long-term savings, I look at long-term savings like just putting away my 3 to 12 months of living expenses. We know that things can happen. If you're not able to work, you want to make sure that your household is able to go on, even when you're not able to show up and make money. Also, putting away that in between cash for retirement. I know someone that just got laid off from their job. They're at the age of 59, and it's 6 months until they reach that 59 and a half to be able to withdraw from their retirement plan. So that in between retirement cash, you're able to go and get that cash to take care of any expenses you may have until you're able to retrieve that you're able to withdraw from your retirement plan. So some people may ask, well, why don't I put this in an investment account? The reason why I say that is that you want to be able to secure some money that you don't have to pay penalties for, because you don't know if you put it in an investment account, it may come with some penalties. So it's okay to put some long-term cash in a high yield savings that does not come with penalties. Okay. Here's one that I know many of you do not do. And it's okay because you're going to start today. Doing an insurance check-in. For those who have auto and homeowners insurance, you may want to review and update your policies for adequate protection. So take a look at your renewals this year. Has your premium increased drastically? Could it be time to shop around for new insurance? If you don't have time to shop around, consider finding a trustworthy insurance broker. I know, again, within the Atlanta Black Chambers, we have some awesome insurance brokers and insurance agents. So if you need a broker or an insurance agent, drop it in the chat and we'll make sure we get you some information at the end of the webinar. So looking over your auto policies, checking in with your deductibles. Do you need to increase your liability coverage? Let me tell you something. When you're driving down 75, 85, what billboard are you likely to see? 9 times out of 10, that's attorney billboards. And being in the insurance industry, because I am still in the insurance industry as a claims adjuster, it is so easy for you to tap somebody on their rear bumper and they want to sue you for everything that you have. God forbid if you have a teenage driver, we know you got to put the anointing oil on the car before you let them drive, because they like to play bumper cars with your car. You may want to consider increasing your liability because your auto policy is there to cover you in the event you are at fault in an accident. Okay. Make sure that you have the adequate coverage, comprehensive. This covers if your vehicle is stolen, vandalized, catches a fire, making sure you have that protection. Collision. This coverage covers you if you are at fault. Uninsured motorists. Either yourself or somebody whose vehicle has been hit in a parking lot. You're going in a store, minding your own business. You come out, your car was hit. Uninsured motorist covers that damage. So being sure that you have that within your policy. Okay. So if your premiums are too high, consider increasing your deductible. Remember, you have your deductible in your emergency fund. So whether your deductible is 1,000, 2,000, if you're in an accident, you have to pay your deductible. Use your emergency fund, but replenish it after you use it. Okay. Do you need to add a driver? Consider those things. This is why it's so important for you to review your policies. As far as your homeowner's insurance, you want to make sure that your home is covered for replacement costs, because there's a lot of policies that's only covering actual cash value. And I don't want to talk over anyone's head. You have this conversation with your insurance agent, but making sure your home is adequately protected. And I want to give a shout out to Troy Dunbar from Dunbar and Associates. He helped me cover my mom's home. My mom, her previous carrier had her home grossly underinsured. So it's only by the grace of God, nothing happened to my mom's house where it had to be rebuilt from the ground up. So I want to thank Troy for helping me out in that case. As far as your personal property, if you have jewelry, look into talking to your insurance agent about a personal articles policy. This covers that $1 million ring you may have. I know y'all rich out there. That covers that expensive jewelry. So look into getting that coverage. Check in with your endorsements. Make sure you have coverage for mold, coverage for your sump pump if you have this in your home. But making sure you're doing this check-in, it goes a long way. Do a check-in on your life insurance. Check in with those beneficiaries. Are your beneficiaries the same? Do you need to increase your coverage? Okay. Do you need to check into your policy if you have children on your policy as riders? It may be time to go ahead to get them their own insurance, because I do know that the younger your kids are, the less expensive that your life insurance will be, their life insurance will be, okay? Look into your health insurance, review your deductible, your co-insurance. If you are expecting to have a medical procedure, find out what your co-insurance payment is going to be, preparing ahead of time. For those of you who have disability and long-term care, look into your policies. Make sure that there are no changes that you have to be aware of. So I want y'all to drop it in the chat. This is my last question for the sake of time. I want to make sure we have time for any questions. Drop a 1 in the chat if you have made the time to talk to your insurance agent within the last year. Drop a 2 in the chat if you have not talked to your agent in over 12 months, possibly if you haven't even talked to your agent since you purchased the policy. What we looking like, Chike?
A whole lot of ones.
I'm so proud of you guys, because
A
you
few
know,
twos. A few twos.
a few twos. Okay. Okay. For my 2 people, take the time. Listen, your insurance is there to protect your assets. It's a part of your financial portfolio. This is why we have to take time and check in and adjust as we need to. All right. Caring for your credit. Make sure you're staying on top of your credit, y'all, because there are scammers out here that will get something in your name that you won't know nothing about until you are caught in the thicket. Okay. So every year, I encourage you to retrieve your free credit report. It's a more detailed report. Comb through your credit report. Make sure there's no inaccuracies, no inaccurate reporting, such as payments, payoff errors. Because remember, these are people that's operating at the credit bureau, so they're bound to make mistakes. So just making sure that you are checking in with that annual credit report, pulling that credit report and going through it thoroughly. And another thing is to download Credit Karma. This gives you frequent access to know what's going on with your credit. Make sure that you are checking that, especially if you are looking to make a big purchase. You want to make sure that your credit is on track so that you can get the best interest rate for that you can, okay, as you are building to increase your credit score. But become familiar with checking that your credit on Credit Karma, okay? Even if it's once a month. I know for me, I check it at least twice a month, because I need to know what's happening. Even though I don't use my credit cards, I don't want nobody else getting anything in my name either, okay? Because these scammers be scamming out here. And last but not least, this is one of my most important topics that I like to talk about with my clients, and that's giving, making giving as a priority. We say that we want to be wealthy, like the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffetts, and even Elon Musk. The one thing that they do is that they give. Now, for us that are believers, we attend church. One of the ways that we give is through our tithes and offerings. We honor God with our wealth. That's a form of giving. Planning for generosity. What do you want to give next year? How much do you want to take a certain amount out of your monthly payment or every 2 weeks payment to give unto others, to honor God with your payment, go ahead and plan for that. Put that, make sure that's at the top of your budget, giving, because I cannot testify enough that when I release with an open hand, God gives back with an open hand. And I am a testimony, and I know many of you are as well. So if you possibly are not in a church, just find a way to give. Support causes that's close to your heart, like the American Cancer Society, St. Jude's, ASPCA, Wounded Warriors, but find a way to give back, because wealth is not only made for us to accumulate, but we should be helping others as well. All right. Embrace the impact. Remember that giving creates positive change in others as well as in our very own financial health. So we're looking to be wealthy, but guess what? As much is given, much is required. And that's what the word of God says. So I thank you guys for your time. I remember when I said, I mentioned, excuse me, about the budget journal. I do have these budget journals on my site. It's a very, very detailed budget journal. As you see, it is thick. So you can check that out on my site. All of my information is below. Unfortunately, my 2024 101 coaching calendar has closed for the year, but it will reopen at the top of 2025 for any consultation. And if you're looking for 101, I am here for you, and I am looking to help you become financially free and achieve your financial goals for 2025. I pray you guys have the most amazing Wednesday ever. If you have any chat questions, please, please, please drop them in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Woo! Woo! Talk about gems. Dang. I'm so blessed because you made me check myself, even though I talk about money all day, like stuff I still got to work on. And so you put something in there, one of your slides. It's Matthew 25, and I want to touch on that real quick, y'all. So if you don't want to unmute, put your question in the chat. I'm gonna ask people to unmute if you have a question. Matthew 25 talks about two things that are truly important, right? One is you never know when the opportunity is going to come. You got to be ready. And so when you got that emergency money saved up and you can access it quickly, maybe it's not for an emergency. Maybe that emergency money is for an investment. Maybe it's for a business that popped up for sale that, you know what I mean? But you're ready because you got the money, right? So having money on hand is so key, y'all. You got some great feedback in the chat, by the way. The second thing that Matthew 25 talks about is, and this is what we got to get. The only time that God calls us his good and faithful servant is when he gave us something and we multiplied it through investing, right? And so taking what we got, being a good steward of it, managing well so that we can multiply it, and then we can share in his happiness. We can share in his happiness, y'all. So I'm glad you put up that Matthew 25, because I was thinking where I seen Matthew 25. And Matthew 25 is on this shirt right here. I'm gonna show y'all this shirt right here. You see this? Matthew 25, right? And this shirt, if you don't know, now you know, Sharmina Phillips and the I Got Bank girls, right? This is some of their merch right here. So Sharmina, shout out to Sharmina Phillips and the I Got Bank education girls. If you don't know them, you better check them. But yeah, Kim, really, really amazing. Do we have any questions? Does anybody want to unmute? We got Jamaican fire symbols in the chat. Yo, I mean, it's fire. It's fire, yeah. It's fire, Mayo. Do we got anybody that wants to unmute and ask any questions to Kim? Anything she touched on? Anybody want to put a question in the chat? If not, we're gonna give you some of y'all time back. I mean,
Okay.
what do we got going? Yes.
Hey, this is outstanding. Thank you all for putting this together. Cam was fire today, y'all. I love it. So my question is for those of us that have college age students, young ones, 18, 19, that are looking to establish credit, right, in the right way. What advice do you have? I've heard different things. Maybe I can put them on my credit card, give them access to bill credit, things of that nature. But what advice would you have for our young adults that are starting out and we want to get them off on the right footing, on the right path?
You know what? To be honest with you, because we know I've been there with a credit card at 16. Baby, I bought riches down. So that lets you know how old I am. Okay. I would say start them off with a secured credit card. We don't have to start them off with unsecured because sometimes, they get with their friends and going out spending money, it becomes a little bit enticing. And so once you get an understanding of how they're handling that secured credit card, then you make the decision when it's time to switch them over to unsecured. Because with unsecured, remember, there's no restrictions. So you have to make sure that they are ready and understand what they are doing because we can quickly mess it up when we are not following those guidelines, meaning that we're only paying the minimum balance on the maxed out credit card. We're not paying it on time. So that is just one example that I can give you for getting them ready for that because they have to be ready.
So we got a couple other questions actually. Somebody asked about time versus money. I'm not sure what you mean, Charles, but we if you can unmute, Charles, are you here? Brother Charles?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you asked about time versus money. What do you mean?
Yeah, so I guess understanding like let's just say the meal prepping or everything that it takes to like make a meal. Sometimes like you might save money, but then you might spend like hours doing it or the cleanup of doing it and everything involved. So like is there I guess ways to figure out like if something is worth yeah, you may save money, but then like, what if you lose? Well, I don't know. Like, how do you really address like how much your time is worth compared
That's
to
good. That's
actual dollars
good.
you're saving?
That's good. You know what? That's so good because I was just thinking about Myron Golden, how he talks about not having tools in his house because then he'd be tempted to fix something, or he don't have a lawnmower because he'd be tempted to cut his own grass. So I'm gonna let Kim piggyback. I would say like you got to understand what's your time worth. So is an hour of your time worth $1,000, worth $10,000, worth even $100? You know what I mean? And then you kind of look at it like, is it worth me doing this or paying somebody like Factor or one of the Atlantic Black Chamber's Black-owned chefs? Can they meal plan for me where I pay a fee, but I got 2 meals a day for the next week that I don't got to think about? Kim, we got to add to that.
Okay, so just to give you an example of the meal planning, I do this on Sundays. And guess what? Because there are so many new kitchen gadgets that we can use, your air fryer, you can even put chicken in the oven, where your meal is only going to take maybe 2 hours of your time. The most time that it may take for you to do the physical labor is plating them up. So you have to determine if 2.5 hours on a Sunday and 2.5 hours on a Wednesday worth me saving money, and not only saving money, but eating much healthier because I know what's going in my meals. So you have to determine that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask another one. Authorized users, Phaedra GMP tutoring. Authorized users don't have access to use a card that they're on. They just get access to the history. Is that right, Kim?
Um, I thought that I'm not clear on that, but I thought that they also get access to the card and they also gain the
If
credit.
you give them, if
I'm
you
not an
give them,
expert in that.
so Phaedra, if you give them a card to use, they gonna use it. So I think you can make them an authorized user without giving them a card though. I don't think they need a card. You just want them to have the history. So by 18, 21, 25, they have a history where they can, if they need to go lease or rent something, they can do that or buy something. But I don't think you don't gotta give them a card. We giving these kids a lot already. I don't got no kids. I'm again praying for y'all, but these kids are getting a lot. They don't need the card and the history. Just give them the history. I'm just saying.
And
All
if
right,
you're truly trying to build credit, just look into getting them an unsecured credit card. You can put $100 on there and see how they manage that. Don't give
you
them a
mean
loaded gun.
secured. You mean
I'm
secured.
sorry,
Secured.
secured. Excuse me, secured.
Secured.
Don't give them a
Woo!
loaded. Don't give them a loaded gun. Start with a secured. No, not the. Thank you.
Yeah. Secured now for the kiddies. Secured.
Your children come back with a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Listen, and we got another one. Hypothetically, if someone has a student loan and a hefty emergency fund, should some of that emergency cash be used to get rid of some of that debt, especially with the uncertainty of the Department of Education in 2025? That's a deep one.
Yeah.
Initial J asked that question, the letter J.
I'm going to respond to this from the education that I received. The more liabilities you have, the less money you truly have. Because if you have student loans, that money that you have saved, that truly don't belong to you. And the reason why I say that is because you still have this debt over here that you have to pay off. So you have to sit down and just consider, okay, if you don't want to use your emergency fund, think of ways that you can increase your payments towards that student loan, because you need to get them out of the door so that you can hold on to more of your money. If you sit down and decide, you know what, I'm going to take $2,000 and just throw it at this debt so that I can start, paying it off as quickly as possible. That's a good idea as well. But understand, the more liability that you have, really your assets are not as big as you are large as you really think it is. And you can actually plug that in. I know that online there's a lot of net worth calculators
Yeah.
out there that you can plug in your information. But that's just my answer to that. You have to
Okay.
sit down and consider it.
Let me go to Leisha. Leisha, also, I'm sorry, Leisha. Don't yell at me. Leisha.
Oh, no problem. Everything in divine timing. I just wanted to tell you all thank you so much for this amazing workshop. Sister Kim knows myself and my granddaughter Naomi. We attend the church. But thank you all so much. This is amazing. I just wanted to just thank everyone for sharing this here, because this is
Thanks
truly
for
powerful, especially with our young people. They need to hear this. Thank you, guys.
listen. Yeah, if you don't know me, but I talk to the youth a lot. They need it more than anything, right? Because they're the future, right? And we want to be able to pass on the stuff we're building and creating. We want to be able to pass it on to them and know they can also be good stewards of it, even though they didn't necessarily help create it, right? So yeah, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Kim, thank you so much. Y'all, this is our last one until January. I know. Don't cry. Don't cry. This is our last one until January. We're going to kick off the year with the awesome Tommy Stapleton, senior wealth advisor with Applied Wealth Management and the founder and CEO of The Power of Brown Money. Tommy Stapleton is going to help you kick off the year with growing your business through like employee benefits, right? And what's the key to that, right? And so we're talking to business owners that have these employees. Tommy's going to help you with that to kick off our year. Again, the money team at Atlanta Black Chamber, our goal is to help you build your financial house on rock and not sand in 2025. So look out for some emails, look out for a survey email about this webinar so you can help us make sure our webinars are doper in the future. And we appreciate y'all for spending your Wednesday lunch with us. And I mean, I mean, the webinar is still going. They ain't kick us off yet. Is there anybody that has another question that's still here that don't gotta go nowhere? It's still recording. I don't know.
You know what? I want to hear. I want some to see in the chat. What's some 2025 financial goals? Can we drop that in the chat and just celebrate them?
Yeah. What are
Just
your
having
what?
that idea?
Share one big 2025 financial goal you guys have in the chat. If you're still sticking with us for the last, I don't know, few minutes. I don't know. My golf lesson not till 2:00, so I got time, y'all.
I love it. Patricia said
Yes.
she's paying off $40,000 in debt. Come
That's what I'm
on.
talking about, Patricia. Yes. Like Joseph said, get it out of there.
Yeah.
Get that debt out of there.
Buy a home.
Hey,
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
this is Charmine. Yeah, I just want the person that asked about a credit card for their child. I don't remember the age they said, but don't forget green light. I mean, I know some people don't like to pay the fee, but I like it because again, it's, a secured card and there's so much of that can be managed, particularly if the children are under age 13, because
Who's
the bank.
Greenlight? Who's that?
Greenlight is a company that provides like the cards for the kids under 13 because
Who
you
are
can't.
they? Like, who's their thing? Who's their like?
I
Who's the
don't.
bank? Who's the
I
who's
don't
the bank behind
remember.
it?
It's a
Okay.
MasterCard, but I don't remember who's the bank behind it.
Okay,
But
I've been checking stuff like that to make sure that it's somebody that's legit and not gonna be like.
I've never heard any complaints over the
Okay,
years. I researched it like
Because
crazy.
I thought you said Greenwood. I thought you said Greenwood at first, and I'm like, wait.
Oh, no. It's a green light card. I don't remember the company, but they've been around for some years. If I've heard
Yeah.
any complaint from a parent, it's they, didn't like to pay the monthly fee. But for us, it works out very well. And I get to add money, take money out
Okay.
the account and stuff. And then the kids get to manage it themselves. And you see
U.S.
all
Bank. Actually, it
Oh,
says
it's
U.S.
US
Bank. Charles said it's U.S.
Really?
Bank.
I thought it was someone else. Okay, great. I was afraid to say that. Great. But no, I like green
Yeah.
light. You get text messages every time they make a
Patricia
transaction.
loves it. Patricia loves it too.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. I was hesitant for a while because I didn't want to pay the fee. But now that the kids go more and more places that don't accept cash, I had to do something.
Oh, sorry. It's Community Federal Savings is behind Greenlight. U.S. Bank is partnered with them, but it's
Oh,
Community Federal Savings Bank. Our people on it, yo. People like, nah. Let me make sure. I be checking that stuff, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, who this bank behind?
absolutely. Yeah. Just
Especially when it comes to kids and their data and all that,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So we got a lot of big goals. Saving 10,000 towards emergency fund, pay off mortgage, purchase first home again, make at least 60K, get a new place and a bigger vehicle, eliminate debt. 2 commas in the bank. I like that. Additional scholarship money. So yeah, Joseph, I don't know if you know about that big book of scholarships. You can go to Barnes and Nobles and just look at it. You could buy it, but you don't got to. It's called the Big Book of Scholarships. This thing is like that thick, and it just got scholarships upon scholarships. And then there's that Black app. This kid was on Shark Tank. He did a college scholarship finding app on Shark Tank. Look that up, Joseph. I can't remember the name of it. College-fi or something like that. Scholly. Maybe.
If there's one piece of advice I can give you on that for parents that have seniors, juniors and seniors in high school, don't let your child do those applications by themselves and put your email address in it, because if they're missing something, you can miss out on money just because they got an email address wrong or didn't enter something correctly, and you wondering why you didn't get the scholarship. Well, yeah, you want to be tight on that. So oversee that process.
Okay. For those of y'all got little ones. Cool. Any other questions? I mean, we still rocking, y'all. We still Zoom still recording.
Appreciate you guys for hanging in here, just having
I mean, we just talking now, y'all. It's I mean, questions, we got more. Yeah, Scholly. The app is called Scholly. I remember the kid did a deal, I think with Damon John, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's multiple ways now to get scholarships, and so many that some scholarships don't even have any applicants, and all they got to do is apply and they'll get it. What else? 2025, we got goals. Oh yeah, so Atlanta Black Chamber. So the money team, y'all, we do a in-person networking educational event partnered with the real estate committee at the Black-owned Beverly in Atlanta. The first Wednesday of every month, that's 4:30 to 7:30. Second Wednesday of every month, we have our webinar like today, except for December. Third Wednesday, we have our monthly committee, the money team committee call, which is open to folks interested in our committee and want to join our committee. And then we are off the fourth Wednesdays. We got Atlanta Black Chamber's holiday party coming up. We got a men's, let me see what that is called. That's the fourth quarter men's huddle at the wellness spot. That's this month. End of this month. We got the holiday party, which is, I want to say, December 7th or something like that. The holiday party is December 7th, I think. So Atlanta Black Chambers, December 6th. Thank you, Kim. Cool. Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff going on, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Atlanta Black Chambers, the money team. We got all the financial professionals to help you get your money right in 2025. And so we appreciate y'all. Kim, thank you so much. And we'll see y'all either on our next call, our next virtual call. We'll see y'all at the holiday party, at the men's huddle, something. Something, y'all. Y'all be safe, and y'all have a blessed week.
All right, y'all. Go be great.